Hey, Common Ground Northeast, this is Pastor Erik again with another midweek message reflection. At the beginning of the quarantine, I challenged you all to use this time, this flexibility, to help cultivate your relationship with Jesus as opposed to allowing the enemy to use this time to further your anxieties or even just to build into your life things that are possibly unhealthy towards an isolation versus the ability of working towards the discipline of solitude. And so as a result of that, I wanted to give some ideas because I think a lot of times we're like, yeah, I want to do that, but you don't know where to start. And so the first spiritual discipline that I want to introduce to you is the prayer of Examen. It's fairly popular, but a lot of people don't know where it came from. You see, it started because of Saint Ignatius, or Ignatius of Loyola. He was at the time known as kind of a womanizer and known for his great bravery on the battlefield. And in the midst of a war, he incurred an injury, and it caused him to be bedridden in his brother's castle, of all places, for an extended period of time. And at first, what happened was he began to entertain his mind with fantasies and worldly ideas, things that would occupy his mind for a short amount of time, give him some sort of brief level of satisfaction, but ultimately led him into a deeper depression. And it was about that time that he started to consider and think about and entertain his mind with the life of Christ. He started to think about all the different ways of what it would be like if he could be a follower of Christ and actually there with him. And over the time, this caused him then to develop a spiritual practice, which is now known as the prayer of Examen. The idea of the prayer of Examen is to begin to cultivate an understanding of knowing God's presence in your life on a regular basis. And so what he did is he built into this idea a moment of reflection, that you would pause throughout your day and you would think through, where did you feel closest to God? Where did you feel furthest away from him? And as a result, it would cause you then to start thinking of Jesus on a regular basis. So during this recovery process, he started to think through a way that he could put this into a normal, regular routine in his day, and this is what he came up with. The whole idea is to be aware and to detect God's presence in your life on a regular basis, so it would give you joy, give you greater discernment of what would you do if Jesus was present in this moment. And so an easy way for you to try to develop this is to stop throughout your day 2 times. One would be at noon around lunch, and one would be at the end of the day or after dinner. And to stop and ask yourself about God's presence. Take an inventory of your day and review it by identifying 2 things. The first is just which moments did you feel closest to God? And so you think about, where is God in my situations throughout my day as you think about them? How is God leading you? What is God saying to you throughout that time? How is God for you in that experience? How is God present in the situation and maybe leading you towards others in love? And then the opposite side would be the other end of that. You would start to think, where did I feel farthest away from God throughout my day? As you take an inventory of your day, you start to think, what things led me away from Christ as opposed to towards him? What is my underlying spirit as I interact with other people? What is really going on that's happening in my life? And you present those questions to God and ask him then to remove barriers or to heal some pain that's inside of you or to let something go. I would encourage you, it's a very simple method that you can incorporate throughout your day 2 times a day. Give it a try. Other variations of this, like you can journal this and really count through, think through everything that's taken place in your life. But a simple way we've tried to do this in our own household is at the dinner table with our kids. And we started off by using just the mountains and valleys or thorns and roses idea. What was the best part of your day and what was the worst? And then over time, you can actually develop that to become more of a more spiritually focused discipline of when did you feel closest to God and when did you feel furthest away? Well, that's it. The prayer of Examen. It's actually pretty simple. 2 questions where you stop and just think about where God has been present or where you felt not so present with God in and throughout your day. Give it a try. Let me know if you feel like there's something that God begins to stir in you with it. And maybe you might begin to feel a greater sense of God's presence and a renewed sense of discernment throughout your day.